matter. It's really been an indictment on our country that we treat kids like we would adults. And frankly, we have seen a rise in the imprisonment of kids just as we have a rise in the prison population in adults. And tragically, our country has more people incarcerated in this country than any other free country in the world. Let me just repeat that. That is an indictment on this country that we haven't figured out a better way to deal with our criminal justice issues other than to just put people in jail. Certainly every other industrialized and civilized nation in the world has figured out better ways to deal with their social problems with respect to their criminal element than we have. Between the federal prison system and the state prison system and the county and local prison system, we spend upwards of between $40 and $50 billion a year on our prison system in this country. Those are dollars that could be going towards education, intervention, and treatment. And those are dollars that could be going to reducing the population and thereby reducing the crime rate. Instead, they do nothing but hold stable a population that continues to recycle itself in and out of society and creating more victims in the process. That, to me, does not solve the problem. All it does is perpetuate the problem. If we're serious about getting tough on crime, we ought to be solving the problem, and that is reducing crime. I don't want to just simply talk tough on crime. I want to reduce crime. And anybody serious about reducing crime should be interested in making sure that we reduce recidivism rates. And you don't reduce recidivism rates until you start treating people for the reasons that they end up in prison. And that's what this bill does. It does the mentoring, it does the intervention, it does the kind of work that it takes in order for us to reduce the overall prison population. When I was at the Juvenile Justice Hall in my state about 3 months ago, I asked the kids how many of them had parents in the prison system. And 3/4 of the kids put their hands up. Now, how is it that we have any mystery at all as to the fact that these kids are in prison themselves? Their only role models are their parents. And if their parents are in prison, why is it a big mystery to any of us that they are in prison? We need to break that cycle. And the best way to break that cycle is to pass the Youth Promise Act. The people that are important in this are not the bureaucrats, but the kid. And the kid should be number one. And that's who's going to be number one if we pass this act, is the child themselves. So I want to thank everyone for what they did. And most importantly, I want to thank Bobby Scott for his tremendous leadership in holding and hosting hearings. That was the impetus for this legislation. And I'm sorry, here he is right now, the man of the hour, Bobby Scott.